click start. Just this one. No. Here's this one. Okay, I think I'm live. So yeah, I've restarted Nico 150 and I'm going to be solving these things. I started it yesterday and so far I've solved 29 out of these problems. It's not gonna be so hard because I've done this before. I'm just doing it for the refreshments because I feel like my lead coding was getting a little bit rusty. Okay, 2026, and this video is going to be about. Okay, it's gonna sound crazy, but it's going to be like a lecture kind of thing. So look, to oh yeah, some lead code bullshit. So yesterday I was yesterday it was 4 a.m. I was a little bit high, and then I was just in my bed trying to sleep, and I was thinking about how we train models to make them smarter, or how the frontier models how they're trained. Like I'm talking about models like GPT-4 or 5 now, cloud or whatever. So those things, how they work is so the reason I'm going to be talking about this video is a little bit of this topic is I want to reflect later and look back into it, and if anyone's watching this, that's nice. I don't know what you're doing here, but that's nice. So here's the thing. So a model, right? Something. So let's say we were trying to create some kind of intelligence or consciousness or whatever, and we gotta teach that thing, right? So currently there is no sentient AI out there in the industry right now. It's all bunch of the attention mechanism works like it calculates the probabilities of the next suitable word and then just inserts that word. So it runs on just probabilities and just runs on data. So how did it learn? So let's take for example, let's take this sentence. I love Apple. They are very okay. So this is my current sentence right here. So how the AI stuff they work now is they're going to be calculating all the variations, all the possibilities that could be fitting in this word, right? So they are very like the options they're endless. There can be thousands of options. They're very sour, they're very sweet, they're very red, they're very nice, yummy, or rotten. I don't know. So um all of these words they're indexed and then they're put in this so like a vector database thing. You know how vectors are stored, like in 3 dimensions, like vectors like they teach in high school, like this vector, like boom boom, you know vectors like this, but in this case they're 3 dimensional. So looks something like this. So here's a word here, and this is the oops, the like at the space, the letter, no, the word sour is here, like related to apple, like they're embedded really close with the word apple, and it works like that. Okay, so the thought that I had yesterday was something batshit crazy. It's something about reincarnations, or like how our life kind of feels like a simulation of some kind. So it can be any of these words, right? So let's say they are very sour. There's like 40% chance it can be sour, or like 41% chance it can be sweet, or if there was a word called green out here, then it's more chance the word can be sour, because green apple is semantically really close in the vector space to the word sour. So this is how they work, and how they're trained to think this way is by iterations, right? So there's this thing called a loss in machine learning. So loss is like the difference between the true outcome and the difference and the number that you predicted. So explaining loss, that will be a lot of things, but let's say my loss is right here. I'm gonna mm-hmm. Yeah, this picture exactly. It's like this. So you update the weights each time, and then your loss should be going down over time. And then you find the minimum weight that has the most minimum loss, and you call it a good model. So the thing is to find the weight that has the least amount of loss, you have to iterate many times. So, and we can imagine our lives, our spirits, they come from somewhere, like from space or sky, and our spirits are over here, and they're going to, like, the purpose that they're doing is it's like we're getting trained by something put us here and wants us to be trained. So what we do over here is, let's say this is us, right? So while we live a life, we make choices, and then um, we end up learning some things. We end up learning like some bad things, some good things, and then we face challenges. That's the number one thing in growth, challenge. Like if you don't challenge yourself very much, your muscles won't really grow, your knowledge won't really grow. You'll be like stuck, right, if there's not a challenge. So like challenge is the key to growth, to decrease the cost and to get the maximum weights. So the weight in machine learning lingo is like, it can be something like the knowledge that comes to us when we're born, or like people say some people are talented, right? Like they're born with something, like they're special. That's what a weight is like. The weight is like a bunch of stuff from your previous life you're getting, and yeah, that's weight. And it's going to be keep on getting updated over time. And then you reincarnate, incarnate, and it's going to be looping until you reach a certain point that has the minimum loss, by means you're trained really well, and at that point you can do a lot of tasks. Okay, there was just a bunch of imagining, but that's a pretty good what's the word? Okay, so let's forget about reincarnation. Let's forget about multiple lifetimes. Just one lifetime, just one life. We are growing up, we're getting better and living life, and we face with challenges, right? We're going steady, there's a challenge, and each of these challenges is like a boost for us to go better in life. So here's the neat part. Challenge is what makes us change our weights. I'm not talking about weight like kilograms, right? Like the machine learning lingo. So the weight's changing, which means challenges help us shape ourselves to our own like perfect form, the one that has the least amount of loss, one that's more accurate over time. So challenge is like the really important part in one's life, I feel like. And this challenge thing, you gotta face it. And when you face a challenge, when you don't overcome it, when you don't go tough on it, tough it out, it's going to be repeated again and again. Because if you imagine machine learning, like they're getting trained again and again, like 1,000 times, 10,000 times, million times, doesn't matter. It's going to be like you gotta learn something out of this, right? So you keep on doing this, and each time situations are going to be changing a little bit, but you would understand that the universe is actually challenging you on this thing, and you would know it after few iterations. At least I did. I think you do. But it's really hard to overcome. So it's like the saying, if you don't break the cycle today, it's gonna repeat tomorrow, and that's fucking true. So gradient descend your life. That's what they say, right? It's really, oh, there's a video on it. Life's a gradient descent. Oh, minimize the loss between goals and outcomes.
Life is a journey.
Well, there have been a lot of philosophers in computer science community. I think that's pretty cool. And instead of writing books, they posted to Reddit, and still pretty cool. Yeah, loss progression over iterations. So this thing wouldn't happen if one doesn't do the challenge. Yeah, pretty much it.
We wish to define what is acceptable and what is not. These early lessons start to form.
Wow, I love watching, finding videos like this. 318 views, and it's been posted a few months ago. Okay, different language. Whoa. Is it possible to predict human behavior using game theory? Maybe not game theory, or maybe you can predict communities' behavior using game theory, but not like a singular person's behaviors using game theory. That would be, I feel like it will be so random and you cannot get it. But for like a group of people, you can maybe do that.
Form the connection in our brain, like a network of simple rules. Over time, these connections shape our thoughts, actions, and feelings, much like the training data in a neural network. These guidelines begin wiring your brain into a network of simple rules. Over time, as new experience add more data points, your internal model is continuous.
Your internal model is continually adjusted, much like updating weights and biases through the. Can I just read the text? Like
to adjust. You're off the big, you update them with your own experience. These are actual prejudices that will lead you to the global minimum. The most full.
Okay. She's saying that global minimum is the most
reached a certain level of success in any area of life.
For sure.
Look, recently I've been learning about gradient descent. It's a really beautiful algorithm that helps find the optimal solution to a function and forms the foundation how we train intelligent systems today. It's based off a very simple idea. Rather than figure out the best solution to a problem immediately, gets an initial solution and steps in a direction that's closer to a better solution. Yep. When it arrives at the minimum point, it converges. Leo's reward function is determined by things like the number of goals he scores, the minute he plays, the team he scores them against, and the trophies he wins. Currently, he's scoring about 10 or 15 goals a season, but he thinks he could hit 25 to 30 with a solid improvement. He drills for 2 hours longer. In parallel, Leo also has cost functions trying to minimize injuries. Any injury would be a gigantic setback towards any of his recorded functions. The key ingredients to Leo's gradient descent algorithms are functions that can be measured. Number of goals in a season or data range. Data that contributed toward or detracts from the function. And baby citizens routines after having analyzed the data. True. It's a local optimizer. You're only going to be finding the local minimum. When thinking deeply about someone, try not to assess them by their base traits, job, wealth, intelligence, but rather by the hills they traverse, the valleys and peaks they like hike towards, and their process for selecting these hills. Oh my god, that's such a powerful quote. This is so good. I'm gonna write it down actually. That's powerful. Okay. Speeding up your progress or hiking faster. Okay. In grading descent, the learning rate affects how much change we enact to get closer to the local optimum. Once we figure out the right direction, the learning rate is how far we jump in that direction. This is why so many self-help guides advise taking baby steps. Baby steps imply small learning rate. Baby steps decrease your chances of failing in your endeavor. If our learning rate is too high, we might actually diverge from the optimum solution. Essentially, drastic changes can move you away from the optimum. You can see what that looks like below. Right. Yeah, drastic changes, like you're not reaching the minimum rate. You're just jumping around. High learners attempting a black diamond in first attempt. Exactly. Fuck. It's crazy how much philosophy out of machine learning we can get back to ourselves. I think early theories on machine learning, early thinkers, when they want to mimic the human intelligence, I bet they looked inside and they were like, oh, this is how we learn. Maybe we can look deep inside and learn how our neurons work, how they fire, and then we can replicate it. I think the early people who came up with all this theories, they look deep inside, I think. So it's crazy though, like we're trying to mimic how our brains work, and we created all this math, all these matrices, and all these theories, and at the same time we can also learn much about our own minds, especially someone like me who's a young person, and I could get a lot of informations on from this theories from this theory that could that we created to mimic how our own brains think. I don't know. There's some yapping. Am I at a local minimum right now? What's my bad sides? There's somewhere else that has more optimal solution. Yeah. So, the loss is going down, right? For this to happen, you're going to have to solve the challenge, like face the challenge and complete it, and over and over and over again you're going to reach the local minimum. So this is a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. It's almost like 100 try. See how like a lot of little dots there to reach the local minimum. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, in our everyday lives, if we navigated it like challenges are like our current weight is who I am now today, right? Things that I've learned from my past alterations with challenges, and things that I've done in the past, like challenges I overcame in the past or I failed in the past, like all of my memories and how I'm operating at this moment is my weights. So my weights is over here. Well, let me get this formula right here. This is the formula, right? Oopsies. This is so quality so ass. Okay. So our new loss is equals our old loss minus the learning rate, and the oh fuck, what is it? Learning rate times the gradient of yeah. I forgot what J is though. Oh yeah. Alpha J is the gradient of the loss function with respect to theta. Right. Yeah. So with respect to theta, gradient descent loss, and imagine like who I am now, right? And then this is my weights, and there are challenges, which is a problem that I gotta solve. And my weight attempts to solve this challenge, which changes my weight a little bit, right? But I have to solve this in order for this to change me. So if I solve this, my learning rate has to reach this local minimum, right? This part. So I'm right here, and to progress I need to actually solve it. If I cannot solve it, if I fail to solve it, it's going to take tens of thousands of epochs or iterations repeated, and it's going to get so fucking boring, and it's just better to just fucking do the job at this point, you know? So like, it will just be better to just get it done, you know, like whatever. It can be hard, it can be tough, just get it over with. So you have to overcome the challenges and become who you want to be. So each time you face a challenge in life, that is an attempt of the universe trying to change your weight so you can find your local minima over time. Or local minima is the maximum, like the maxed out version of yourself that you're, I don't know, your most fulfilled life or whatever, but like in this case it's just the, like, you know how Nietzsche says Ubermensch, you'll become a fucking Ubermensch. So face a challenge, do it, and if you don't do it, it's going to be repeated again and again. So just fucking do it and get it over with. Like, you know that you're going to be facing that shit again, right? So don't do that. Same for me too. There are things that I've been postponing for a long fucking time, like years or something, that I've been postponing some things, and over time they kind of haunt you, right? So I'm done being haunted, and I'm going to be overcoming some challenges and become a fucking Ubermensch or whatever. You know how they say, I'm here to see what I'm made of or whatever. So this is the plan for 2026. It's to face challenges and upgrade my weights, who I am now, and step try to get closer to my local minima, aka most fulfilled version of me, or Ubermensch. right? So yeah, and the path to reach this thing is by facing challenges. If you don't want to face the challenge, well, tough luck. You have to face that, or you have to face something similar, because you're here to learn. I don't know who decided that. For me, I absolutely believe that I just randomly spawned on this world, and my only task since the minute I was born was to fucking learn. So you have to learn something from the challenge. That's why the challenge keeps appearing. And if you keep postponing it, you're going to be keep facing that challenge. So just, I don't know, pause for a moment and really face that. There's this saying that says, keep your fears close. And I love that. There's also a similar saying like, keep your enemy close, or whatever. Oh, what is that? Yeah. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Okay. So I'm going to be doing some leak codes. And there are some things that I've been postponing. Those are lead coding, my own decoding list, Green Book, and Prep Street, Chroma Rock, Zoom Rock. Okay. So what lead code is, of course, it's just lead code, right? So I want to solve lot of problems, because so look, like last 4 days I've been slacking, so I gotta get back on the grind. And I have my own lead coding list actually. Let me show you that. The recent, yeah, here it is. So there is 519 problems, and it's sorted in a yellow kind of rating. And I saw 62 in the last few days, in the last 2 weeks, but these problems are easy. And the hardest problem that I have here is the hardest problem ever on LeetCode. Pretty cool, if you ask me. Yeah. So the idea is that you keep solving these problems, and you're going to reach a point of the max rating possible or something. Like, but the process is going to be like it's going to be so slow and sudden, not sudden. And over time you're going to like slowly growing up, like slowly going towards your local minimum, or the most fulfilled lead coder version of yourself or some shit. When I first started lead coding, I faced problems like I'm just learning hash map, and then my next problem is fucking DP or whatever. So, and even this neat code, like it's decent, but like maybe it was decent few years ago, but not now, not anymore. I'm not saying the DSAs have changed; they did not, but like this list can be so much more better, because back then you just had to memorize this 150 problems, but now it's, I mean, I'm sure everyone have these problems memorized, so the meta has changed a little bit. so that list can be changed a little bit too. What about 519 problems instead of 150 neat code? And each problem is a little bit harder than the previous one. So you just keep solving them, shut the fuck up, and then over time your rating is going to be going up, which means you're slowly becoming a better lead coder. Emphasis on slowly, you know. Like, I think it's a really efficient way. So these are some things that I wanna do in the next couple of days before the new year. Green book, it's the fucking quant book. I watched the podcast about quants, and then I used to think that to be a quant you have to be a fucking like math Olympiad in China or whatever. I don't know, like IMO or ICPC. Well, I'm in ICPC, but still. And then I keep hearing about how all of that shit is bullshit and how those prestigious school kids wanna gatekeep the shit, you know. So, quant. I think I can easily become one, but the hard part is going to be convincing firms to hire me. But I think I can become a decent quant, like better than average. Prep Street is my current project that I've been doing with two of my friends in the last few months, and yeah, it's an SAT prep thing. The reason why I'm doing SAT prep, like I'm not even like, it's been 5 years since high school graduation for me. The reason why we're doing this is so we can get a lot of data on how students learn, and I just want to map someone's brain so well, and then there are a lot of semantic things you can do with that kind of data, which is really interesting. And I was thinking of building a knowledge engine back in September, and I kept on building, but like now we decided to build an SAT so we can generate and then like create nice insights and analysis into students' brain. And then now we have this SAT and we're offering it for free. It's pretty cool actually. I've done the UI front end side myself. It's just me and one other technical guy, and the third guy is just a guy. He's doing marketing. So it's like somebody signs in, and we even have a admin dashboard. They can like wait. So it starts like this. So first you're on board. Oh, this is my first time taking it. I'm retaking it. Okay. Just gonna replace it. Mock test day. I wanna work 30 hours per week, and it wants me to take diagnostic test. Oh, I currently have 760 and I want 800. For English I got 400 and I want 800 on it. And the test date is month and 9 days later. So it has a lot of more reading lessons for me than math, especially in the upcoming weeks. We only showed the next 2 weeks. So this is the practice. I don't think there is any other prep tool online that creates custom dynamic tailored study plan for you. So we like I said, our knowledge engine keeps track of mastery scores. So you do good on your practice, like you get better mastery shit, right? And then there's an AI you can talk to, and you can ask them. You can ask questions like help. Yeah. I'm going to be adding some highlighting things on the text right here. So like, this is just a slop. Nope, I was wrong. I'm gonna save this one. And I added some key things like where you don't need a mouse, just on keyboard you can just solve questions. I'm really proud of this. So yeah, you get some custom tailored performance things. Damn, UI for this sucks on small non-big screens. I gotta work on sizings of these. So yeah, there's a summary page, and then you get an AI insight saying some bullshit. But this looks so wipe coded. I didn't do that. My other co-founder did that. And this is the missed questions that I have. Like, and if you do it right, it's gone from the list. And drilling, I really love drilling. Drilling is awesome. Now you just choose the topics you want to do and then just start a custom practice session for yourself. Pretty cool. Anyways, and then there's a mock exam and there's progress. You can track your progress. There's also drill here, but this is like so granular. You can drill like before you can only drill the whole section of craft and structure, but now you can drill like real shit, you know, like it's be so granular inside. And yeah, like you can see your masteries. This is my mock scoring trend. My scores have been like this before. And there's a chat and settings and yeah. So I wanna, the app looks good, I know, but I wanna make it into more production grade, like something that I can be proud of when I release to the public. It's gonna be free though, so I hope a lot of people are gonna use it. Chroma Rock is my is this prediction market app that I've been working on. It needs a lot more work. Zoom Rock is screen recorder that I'm trying to make quick bucks. Like Screen Studio, but it's gonna be fucking cheap. You know, this video that can like zoom in, right? Yeah. Okay, this was a nice stream. I'm gonna get into lead coding now.